Top 10 mistakes that new traders make on binary and derivative.com. Alright guys, so welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time you're getting across this channel, make sure that you subscribe. I upload videos on business, finance, whatever that is educational in this business world. I upload video on those things and you are going to love them. Okay, if you want to understand more about my channel, you need to watch my previous videos. There's a lot to learn about them. So in this video I'm going to talk about the top 10 mistakes that new traders make on binary.com and derivative.com, and most of them can make them get mistakes, can make the system ban them. All right, and some of these mistakes are from experience and from the experience of others, so be sure you stay tuned till the end of this video. All right, the last mistake is very important. Be sure that you don't make it. All right, the first mistake that most trader makes is has to do with the depositing method. Most people, they try to use card and they get confused about the different depositing method, and they don't know the policy about depositing money into derivative.com or binary.com. And most of them, when they get across to other traders and inexperienced traders that have been able to deposit, what they end up doing is using the same depositing method, which is very wrong. In whatever you do on derivative.com and binary.com, make sure that you are not using the same depositing method with someone else. Like, if someone have used a particular card on a particular account, be sure that that person, you're not using that same card. Okay, your account will be, both account will be disabled or they will be banned. Okay, there'll be a restriction on both accounts, so be sure that if someone have used a card on a particular account, you are not using that card. Okay, if you are using getting confused about the depositing method to use, all right, check beneath this video. In the description you will see some other videos talking about the depositing method and especially using perfect money and using Skrill. Okay, so all those ones are really good and they are really easy to use. All right, the videos are self-explanatory, so do not use the same perfect money account or the same depositing method that someone else's have used before. Both accounts will be restricted, so be sure you are not doing that. Okay, and then another mistake, the second mistake that most traders make, is they enter the binary option trading or binary.com or derivative.com trading, and like it's a gambling kind of business. All right, if you are going to the trading world with this mindset of I'm going to gamble, already before going to trading world you have to use your spare money and everything. Remember, spare money, and you must be very well assured that it's a win or lose kind of a thing, and you must be sure that you're not risking too much. And even if you're risking too much, be sure that you're responsible for whatever you're risking. So one mistake that most persons make is they enter into it like it's a gambling kind of thing, and they end up gamble their money away and they feel like, oh, it doesn't work. Okay, trading altogether is a career, it's a business that if you build and you get close to it, as time goes on, you will get perfect at it. All right, I mean, you will get perfect. When I say you will get perfect, you will get perfect at it. All right, although you may, out of all the trades you may place, you may maybe just lose one, or out of like 20, 50, 100, or maybe none at all. All right, so there are those who are perfect at this, they are not shouting. Those who are perfect at this are not shouting. All right, so, and they learned a lot from their experience, and they've taken it as their career. So be sure that you take it as your career and not just a gambling side that you're diving into to just explore and then go away. Now the third mistake that most new traders makes is they get confused on what particular type of trade or what trade they are embarking on. All right, be sure that you learn enough what all the different trade patterns are, like the different trade types, and that is why you should subscribe to a course if you don't have the time to learn all these things yourself, subscribe to a course where someone will handpick you from beginning to the end, and you can see a link to a course if you want to subscribe to any of the course down there. Subscribe. Okay, there's an automated video record on everything already. Else, stay tuned to this channel as I keep on unraveling them one by one. If you check the previous video, I've unraveled some already. Alright, but you know, watching one video or the other and not knowing the step by step can be a really big problem. So subscribe to a course if you can, or take your time to learn every one of them, because one may be better than the other and one may be more suitable to you than the other. So the fourth mistakes that newbies makes on binary and deriv.com is they, you know, get too emotional after making their first 100 or more, after making their first loads of gain, or making their first sudden losses. They get too emotional. You know, trading most times can be really emotional, and what makes you a better trader, like what makes you increase your performance in the trading world, is being skilled at your own emotion. You know, learning when to stop and learning when to continue and learning when to say to take the risk. All right, if you already know all the rules, like you are sticking to the rules, now you have to know when to break the rules. All right, because sometimes breaking the rules helps you, you know, jump really farther than you can ever imagine. All right, and you cannot break a rule that you don't know already. So you cannot break a rule that you are not used to already. So you have to be sure that you know the rules well enough so that you know when to take. Breaking the rules, I don't mean that you have to do things abruptly. I mean taking a bigger and extra bigger risk. All right. Most times, if I have stuck to one particular rule, probably I wouldn't make too much from the system myself. But there are times where I totally break the rules. Like, so if I've watched some of my videos, you see that there are times that I risk almost everything in my balance, and over and over and over and over, and I do that over and over and over, and that's what it really give me a bigger shoot in this trading world. All right, but it's not what I do all the time. It's what I do when I am sure I am very responsible for the risk I am taking, and even if it goes the other way, I'm sure that I'm going to bear it. All right, so be sure you know all these things hand to hand and master your emotion. Okay, the other thing that fifth thing that new traders doesn't know and they take for granted is the education in the system. Most people just jump into the system. They don't get enough education, they don't get enough materials. And you know, even as I am here, I'm not saying I'm a professional trader, but in some way myself, I am professional in my own way. Like, I've gotten to a level where I can say, okay, I have done well with the system. All right, but no matter what, I learn every day. Even as I'm talking to you now, if I log into my chart now and look at it, I will learn something new. I learn something new from the chart every day. From the market, I learn something new every day. If I learn something new every day, you know, every day you have to learn something new from the system. So long as you open the system every single day, you just have to pick out something that is a lesson and it's an education to you. You know, find something interesting to learn. You know, take up courses, take up materials, buy materials, you know, legit ones, and then get acquainted with them, and you improve of the system drastically. Because most times what makes us falter really big time is lack of knowledge. Okay, it's really lack of knowledge. All right, so the next mistake that new traders make is they don't practice. All right, they don't practice. You know, what you do continuously, regardless of whether you know exactly what you're doing or what you're not doing, most times is you tend to get used to it, and you tend to do it intentionally without your reflex just do them without you knowing them. All right, and that has to do with practicing. The demo account wasn't there just for fancy, it's there for practice. Most new traders don't practice except there's a fund in the account. They just jump and use the fund, and when the fund is gone, they don't do anything else. The account is just left like that. All right, you have to practice. Whatever you can do on your demo account is the same thing you can do on your real account. Okay, so and the other mistake that most newbies make is they assume new account, the real account and demo account are not the same. Like, they are not the same. They assume like it's like I'm winning more on real account and I'm not winning less on I'm winning more on demo account and I'm winning less on real account. Okay, it's not the same thing. They both operate on real market. I'm talking about derivative or binary. They both operate on the real market, so they are the same thing. Whatever you do on demo account is the same thing that if you do on real account will bring out the same result that you are getting on demo account. All right, so be sure that you don't have this mindset like these people are tricking me with demo account, they are tricking me. No, if you have that mind that you are being tricked at one point or the other, you get really bad at the whole system. All right, and you don't want to get bad at the system. All right, so the ninth mistake that most new traders make is they overestimate. They take the market for granted, and when they are winning, suddenly they say, oh man, I'm doing so good at this system, I'm doing so good, okay, let me just give one sweep turn, and they'll just forget what they have been sticking to for a very long time, because the market has been so friendly to them. They'll end up leaving the initial stake they've been using and maybe probably using the entire thing on their account, and before you know, they end up wiping out the entire thing. You don't want to do that, right? So don't be too familiar with the market. The more you are too familiar with the market, the more the market is becoming so strange to you. All right, the more you look, the less you see. All right, and the last but not the least, all right, the last but not the least is that you should not always forget to be ungreedy. Most people, once they've gain, it's like the more they gain, the more they get greedy. The more they gain, the more they get greedy. In fact, the greed keeps increasing. With the larger they are gaining, the greed keeps increasing. Once in a while, the system do not let the system pressure you, give you a pressure. And the only way the system can give you a pressure is when you are logged in and you have gained so much, and the system is giving you like the impression like you can gain more. That's a trap. Once you should operate with a goal. Once you have gained according to your goal, you should learn to log out, close the system, and go about your normal daily work. All right, log out totally, because the more you look at it and you're trading, keep trading, okay, the more you are being pressured. You are being pressured to do more. All right, and being pressured, you might eventually succumb to it, and you don't want to do that. Okay, so I've seen situation whereby most traders get about from a very little balance, and they get so much, from about let's say from about $100, get about $1,500, or get about $999, and they want to $999, and they want to get just $1 to make it up, and then in the bit of trying to get just $1 to make it up, round figure, they end up wiping up the entire account. All right, that happened to me initially when I started. It happened to me, and I wouldn't lie to you, it was when it has happened already that I now realized, oh, why did I just log out? I would have just logged out and then enjoy the one or withdraw some part and then maybe play around with the rest, or a lot of my thoughts will come to your mind. But this now will be a lesson to you, especially newbies that are starting out, or those that are just getting to the system, or even professionals. Once in a while, you don't know when you are pressured by the system. Log out, go about your daily work, and come back, and you will understand if you are being pressured by the system or you're not. Okay, this is not a do or die affair. This system has been in existence and will continue to be in existence. Thank you. All right, see you in my next